What's up, motherfuckers? Let's go.
Yo, yes, baby. What's up, motherfuckers? Fucking Moicano. What? Sorry, I'm a little bit sick. I got some phlegm built up in my throat right now, and I can't quite keep myself together for this beautiful news. That dude, like I'm not happy that Arman Tsarukyan pulled out. Obviously, the matchup between Arman and Islam is very intriguing. I picked Arman to win the fight. Could not care less, dude. I am somehow more amped up for this fight now in this card because Money Moicano has the chance, right? It could be a small chance. I mean, it probably is a very small chance, honestly. But now Money Moicano has a chance to shock the world, truly pull off one of the greatest title upsets of all time. Do I think he can do it? Absolutely, right? Absolutely. He's a fantastic grappler. Is he a better grappler than Islam? Listen, he's probably not better anywhere than Islam, but it doesn't mean that you can count him out. And, I mean, you guys know, never got to pick wrong, of course. And as always, I'm willing to put that on the line. And I'm sticking with my original pick of Arman. That shit transfers over to Renato Moicano. I'm not changing it. He's beating Islam because it would be hilarious. Can anyone prove me wrong there? Would this not be the funniest moment in MMA history if Renato Moicano goes out there, submits Islam Makhachev, gets his back, chokes him out? Listen, it's possible. Likely, as I keep saying, fuck no. But who gives a shit? Because this would be hilarious, and I always side with the outcome that would have the most comedic value. And this, to me, would be one of the greatest title wins of all time. Renato Moicano needs money. He always talks about it. Now we're talking about championship money. I know he has that collarbone problem. I saw a picture of him at the weigh-ins, and he looks like he still has that same collarbone issue. Maybe that's just the way the injury healed back, or maybe that's just the way that his collarbone looks. I don't know. I hope he's not going into this fight with an injury. I want him to be completely fresh because I need to see this. And I like Islam. I have nothing against Islam. But Money Moicano has a special place in my heart. The man speaks the truth, right? He speaks out politically. Whatever's on his mind, the man just speaks. He speaks his mind. He shit on Gavin Newsom. If anyone deserves to win the title off of Islam, it's this dude. It is this man. He's hilarious. He's so funny. We need him as champion. He would essentially be the Brazilian version of Sean Strickland, but even funnier, right? And doesn't go on podcasts crying and then, make fun of others for fucking crying. You know what I mean? He's like a less hypocritical, more stand-on business version of Sean Strickland. And he's Brazilian, so he has broken Brazilian English, which is hilarious. I can't think of a better candidate for this title. I really can't. And stylistically, yeah, sure. Is he as good on the feet as Islam? Nah, but I would say Renato Moicano, if we're actually gonna get into the actual fight itself, this fight is impossible to predict. I feel there's obviously a chance that Islam goes out there, blitzes him, takes him down, submits him right away. But it's tough, man, because at one point, remember, there were some people theorizing, maybe Benoit Saint-Denis could be a tough matchup for a guy like Islam. Renato Moicano went out there, ragdolled him, made it look quite easy, and looked quite a bit stronger than Benoit Saint-Denis. Obviously, the strength difference, we've never seen Benoit go up against Islam and really test out that theory. But I think after based on what's happened in Benoit Saint-Denis' last couple fights, he was just an overhyped fighter to begin with, and apparently beating Benoit Saint-Denis is the perfect route to get a title shot against Islam Makhachev. And how many short notice opponents would this be? How many short notice title defenses would these be for Islam at this point if he is to defend against Renato Moicano? Man, it's pretty crazy how many people end up pulling out against Islam Makhachev. Is it cold feet? Could be, man. When it's this much of a trend, when one opponent has had so many fighters pull out against them, it starts to beg the question of are these fighters just succumbing to their own self-doubt when going up against somebody who's as complete as Islam Makhachev? It's very, very possible. Yeah, when it comes to the BSD fight, I don't know if there's really much to take away from that fight and apply it to this one here. This is just such a wild card at the end of the day. So I don't know, right? I don't see him taking that same position against Islam, mounting him and feeding him elbows. That's probably just not going to happen. But is it possible for Renato Moicano to catch Islam on the feet, to surprise him? Is it possible? Maybe. I mean, Moicano used to be a much more, I'd say, polished striker, a lot more willing to throw hands. These days, he seems to really only engage in the grappling, although when he does let his hands go, he's not bad, right? He has a decent right hand. I would say he actually has a pretty good jab, right? Decent leg kicker. He's a decent kicker in general, but nothing crazy. So, man, the more I think about it, the more I talk about it, as exciting as this is, it doesn't make sense to pick Moicano. But there's just something in the air. There's something in the air, dude. I was picking Armin, man. Like, this is the night, I believe. Tomorrow night is the night where the belt changes hands. Whether it's Armin or Moicano makes no difference to me. Although it does make a difference to me because this is the greatest replacement fight of all time. This is the greatest replacement there could ever be. The post-fight victory speech would be amazing. The post-fight press conference would be amazing. I'm telling you guys. It only makes sense for this to happen. And to touch on Armin real quick, man, dude, I thought he looked a little bit off at the press conference. He's usually not that quiet, that reserved, but I felt, maybe he's just not used to speaking English in front of a big crowd, but he seemed a little bit off, and he must have known that this was an eventuality, right, that he would have had to pull out. Maybe he was trying to push himself to the very end to make sure, maybe I can push it, maybe the pain will go away. But apparently he had lots of back pain, and Jesus, he must have known that this was a possibility. So, it doesn't make sense why wait to this point, but it makes the Money Moicano replacement that much more hilarious, man. It really does, dude. So, Armin, get your shit together. I hope to see this matchup at some point in the future. Maybe Moicano cleans out Islam in the first round, and then we get Armin versus Moicano. Either way, dude, this shit's crazy. This shit is crazy. This card is only improved as a result. Now we get Money Moicano in a 5-round main event with the possibility of having him do the funniest thing. And that's what I'm in the sport for, really. I'm in the sport for those kinds of moments. Are we not all in the sport for these kinds of moments? And it's very easy to go out there and say, oh, Islam's going to clean him out. He's going to make it look so easy, guys. And I'll tell you, yeah, it's very easy to say that. It's extremely easy. You're not a fucking fight analyst for saying that Islam is better here, better there. Yeah, we get it, right? But it's a fight at the end of the day. And just like when I used to play soccer growing up, my dad would always say one thing. He'd always say, well, the ball is round, so anything can happen, right? Anything can happen. The ball is round. Same thing goes for fighting, although the same expression does not apply, right? Not the ball is round, but it's a fucking fight, dude. It's a fight between two trained professionals, both fighters in a great vein of form right now. Renato Moicano, in particular, dude, he's been in a great run of form. And he's been talking about fighting for the title eventually. It just happens to be coming a lot earlier than he or any one of us would have expected. Holy shit. And I would imagine that this kind of takes a lot of pressure off of Renato Moicano's shoulders, really, because at the end of the day, he's in his mid-30s, like 35, could be coming towards the end of his career. He's getting this title shot a lot earlier than he was expecting to get it. He's apparently been preparing for a 5-round fight and all that, and I believe the dude, man. Because he has been in such good form. He's been finishing his opponents. And this is really a much different fight than the second Volk fight, because Volk essentially came off the couch. This is not that case. His Islam will be fighting against a different style, right? A different style. So now he has to make that adjustment. He's been preparing for Armin, who, is probably more well-rounded than Renato Moicano, but has a much different style. Grappling-wise, they're different, right? Renato looks for the body lock quite a bit, and once he gets it, he seems to be able to get his opponents to the ground, but it just remains to be seen of how well he can fare against Islam. Is Islam as strong as some people think he is, right? Poirier seemed to deal with his grappling pretty well, and Renato Moicano, at least theoretically on paper, is a much better grappler than DP. So you would think that Islam should not have an easy time taking him down, but then he has to worry about the striking of Islam, where I think Islam is better, right? So he has to worry about the head kicks, he has to worry about that left hand, right? The right hook. It's a tough one, right? And like by no means am I confident in a Renato Moicano win. But just to put it out in the universe here, we need this shit to happen. We need it to happen. So I'm just going to go out there and say Renato Moicano by 3rd-round submission. He's going to shock the fucking world, dude. He's going to shock the world. He literally cannot afford to lose. And we're talking championship money, baby. When there's this much money on the line, pay-per-view points, all that shit. You think Renato Moicano is going to go out there and lose? Nah, he will die before he loses. Right? Death before dishonor. Put that tattoo on Renato Moicano's chest because he's displayed it. And I would encourage you to go and you rewatch the RDA fight against Renato Moicano. Moicano took an ungodly beating in that fight and was never out of it. The dude is tough as nails. Do not count him out against anybody. Moicano is a type of fighter that you cannot count out against anybody. And then what happens if Islam fades in this one? What happens, dude? What happens? This is the kind of fight where something wild is going to happen because Renato Moicano has nothing to lose. Islam has everything to lose. This is that type of fight. So the pressure off of Renato Moicano's shoulders I believe now transfers onto the shoulders of Islam Makhachev, because this isn't even really a number one contender fight. So if Renato makes Islam look in any way human, that's a bad look for Islam anyway. So I believe the pressure is actually ramped up. I believe it is, although I don't know if it'll affect his performance that much. But this fight is just so random now that predicting it, in my opinion, is just off the table. It's very easy to say Islam's going to clean him out, but in my opinion, that's not what's going to happen here. I think this fight will be pretty closely contested, especially early doors. Maybe Islam will take over as the fight goes on, but I think if Moicano can survive the first 3 rounds, first 2 rounds even, right, force Islam to work on the ground, we could see him fade a little bit, because we've seen him fade, although he doesn't gas, right? He's not the type of fighter to gas out, but noticeably fade. I would say he has, and I would say he's shown the ability to fade. And man, like, maybe I'm trying to convince myself that he has a bigger chance here than he actually does. In fact, that's exactly what I'm fucking doing. But hey, man, perfect prediction rate. Be damned. Cannot wait for this, man. This is going to be awesome. And yeah, man, let me know in the comments what you think about this matchup now, this new matchup. If you think Moicano has a chance here, if you think he's going to get his chin cleaned out. Listen, man, both make sense to me, and I really don't care, because I just care about the comedic value. And for me, Renato has to win this one. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Money Moicano is coming for the belt. Be ready, Islam Makhachev. Tomorrow is money time. Man, I'm so happy that I got this opportunity. I have been working for this for a long time, and I knew that could happen. That's why I was training 5 rounds, that I was training with a southpaw. I'm ready, and tomorrow I'm going to shock the world. Be ready, because I am. This is Money Moicano, and tomorrow I will be the champion of the world. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go.